All right, hello everyone. This is Mekel Kasanova coming back with another video. And today this is different because I don't usually do videos addressing things, but I felt that I've needed to address a lot of things going forward, specifically for the fact that this is just, in my personal opinion, this has gotten not only out of hand, but this has gotten insanely unprofessional and borderline schizophrenic. It's interesting. For those of you who don't know, there's a game that recently came out called Mixtape. It isn't, and I'm going to use the words of what people are now saying. It is an interactive experience. Hence, I didn't say game because there's very little actual gameplay, if any gameplay from a lot of things. It just plays itself. So nonetheless, there has been a lot of criticism that has been lobbied at this game. I've raised questions about this game, such as, the influence kits that went out and how expensive they were. And how can a studio, which at the time I was under the assumption that it was an indie studio. Correction, everyone keeps saying indie publisher. Actually, some people are saying not even indie, it's just a publisher. Okay, whatever, semantics. But I questioned that and also questioned just what is the barometer of what we are rating video games. So I was asking questions. At no point did I ever say that you shouldn't buy Mixtape or it's a bad game or you shouldn't play it, because I'm actually very known to be someone who tells people that, hey, you should go out, play a game and formulate your own opinion on it, because you shouldn't fall into the cult of personality of just listening to your favorite influencer or your favorite reviewer or outlet or whatever to base decisions that are going to be influencing your money in their hands. You need to put that in your hands and be able to formulate your own opinions. I've always been someone that has said that. Even when I review something, if I review it negatively or I review it positively, I always encourage you to make your own decisions and formulate your own opinions on things and experience them firsthand. So you would think that to get the backlash that I got from people in media, freelance, independent journalists and such, or not independent journalists, but freelance journalists and journalists for IGN, this other freelance journalist that has a big following, and then someone who clearly, I would say, works within the industry and has industry ties. You would think that for them to come together, now, granted, people can have opinions. People can say what their opinions are, that's fine. But it's one thing when you just share your opinion, but it's another when you're going on and on and on for within the 24-hour span, you're just constantly going with this. It's almost like there's some damage control being done, and attacks also, there have been attacks lobbied at me, and I'm just like, I asked a question. I didn't attack the game. So why is this response what it is? Why is there so many immature responses? Why are there Marvel Snap and Marvel Rivals paid partnered creators going in my comment section to attack me over something that they shouldn't, which is unbecoming of any sponsored or anyone who's a creator is paid to represent a brand? Why would you do that? Why is this so important to go after someone and attack somebody who's asking questions and also trying to push conspiracy? I didn't understand why conspiracy. I'm just asking questions. So you're not allowed to ask questions. You're not allowed, me as an independent journalist, I'm not allowed to ask questions. And then you as the viewer or the consumer or whatever it is they have, you're also not allowed to ask questions, because asking questions gets you these responses. Asking questions get these people who are deeply connected to the gaming and tech industry resharing. But I was asking questions. Why is this the response? It is strange. Now, my perspective of these outlets, these influencers, these industry people went from neutral to the mask has fallen off and I can't unsee the slipping of the mask. And I see who you are as a person. And then to see it being gaslit by the publisher of the game and one of the people who's making comments about me. Now, I bought your game because even games that I may or may not care for, if I cover it, I support the developer and purchase the game, even if I get a review code, which I got no review code for this, and nor did I reach out for one or was one offered. So it is interesting to see that this is that type of behavior, and it's concerning. And then I look at it and I'm like, wow. Now, maybe the person handling social media is not a representation of the company as a whole, but typically it's a representation of the company. And I would just say that's very disappointing. But nonetheless, people, you are not allowed to ask questions. You just need to accept what's being said. I'm done with this situation. I'm done with Mixtape. I will not be responding to anything. And I've had people saying they want me to go on podcasts or they want to talk to me about it. I actually have no desire to talk to anyone about this at all. I'm literally spending time with my family, wife and kids, and doing normal family stuff. I'm not someone who's chronically online. I post or I have a scheduled post and then I go about my life. And it's just interesting that when people say there's people that are terminally online, you don't really think that there are people that are literally terminally online until you start seeing that people are terminally online. It is unhealthy. So quite an interesting situation. Other than that, we will be back to regularly scheduled program talking about tech, the inner works of it, gaming, the industry side of it as well, and everything that we normally do on this show that we haven't deviated from either. Yeah, this is almost like that when Sinclair Broadcasting was going after Trump on the media, and they were all saying this is a threat to our democracy.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
We are concerned about trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Man, this seems like it. Anytime there is a criticism for an indie, for a game that they enjoy, or criticism in general, in any shape or form about something that they enjoy, they will spend all day on a weekend talking about, how people are spending their weekend. I'm like, I'm over here spending the weekend with my wife and kids. You're online posting about this, resharing and losing your damn mind. Get help. All right. See you guys on the next one. Peace out.